You're listening to the Go Lightly Martial Hour on freedomtalkradio.net. freedomtalkradio.net.
And we are on air once again.
The glasses blend in with the picture behind you.
They do they? All right. There's a story about that picture.
Very hard to see where you start and the picture ends.
I guess with my hand. Well, we'll go to the picture in a minute. There's a story behind it, but let me get through the formalities. Hello, whoever is in the bubble room. I'll just call it the bubble room. Hello, Hirad and Adam. Hi guys, I'll call it the bubble room because it is a yellow bubble that matches my glasses today, so in the bubble room. Let me get the formalities out of the way. What day is it?
Today is the 6th.
It is the 6th of May, is it? Oh, but it's Wednesday. Hello. Wednesday the 6th of May, 2015, from the home of the Christ, the Lord Jesus Christ, Brian Leonard Golightly Marshall, announced, hello Ross, announced by Pope Benedict XVI.
And the reason we're not in the Vatican, because that's where Lucifer dwells, right?
Lucifer dwells in the Vatican, absolutely.
You know, we just watched this morning a song which was played at the time of Francis was in his first Mass or whatever it was.
Yeah, in Latin.
In Latin. And the priest is singing Lucifer.
That Jesus Christ is the son of Lucifer.
And Christ is the son of Lucifer.
Oh, well, they're in for a big surprise. Shock horror. Hello! Out with the spiritual 2x4. Idiots. They're really, yeah. Anyway.
Well, it's all prophecy. So
it is. It's all prophecy.
I've always just laid back and let it happen. Bring it on.
Yes. You describe yourself as the lion, waiting, the lion in wait. A lion in reality... his job is to kill a hyena. Yes.
The hyenas will actually drive the pride of lions, the females, off a kill and chase them up into trees where they're so ferocious. The mouth of a hyena can actually sever and break a bone of a buffalo. Yes. Right in its leg. So they're an amazing creature.
And so ugly.
And they're hermaphrodites.
Hermaphrodites, yes.
Yeah, the female has a penis.
Yeah.
And gives birth through the penis, believe it or not.
Ugh.
And the male is smaller, and it's also got a penis, of course, but the hermaphrodite part of the female is half and half, right? Both. And they rule the herd, if you like.
Right.
So the big old lion, he only runs about 50 metres and he's buggered, right? I do about 5 metres and I'm buggered.
Now that's an exaggeration.
But what happens is the females... will herd the animal that they're after into a position of entrapment. Right. And quite often they'll run it up towards the old man who'll be waiting, and he'll just dart out and get it, right?
Right.
And then they feast on it, and then they feed the cubs. But I was actually, when I was in Africa, I was going through the Wenke National Park, and pulled up, and there's a woman outside a car with a camera. And she was sort of taking the female lion sitting under a tree. Yes. And as she was walking slowly towards this lion, as he did, right, the male come out from under a tree, a bush. Right. You couldn't see him. Right. And he's coming full bore, right, and I hit the horn on the car. Right. And that prompted. And she still didn't realise. Yes. Until I hit the horn. She looked around and said, there's bloody lion about 5 metres away, right?
Right, ready to pounce.
Well, did she ever hightail out of there? But people do stupid things like that.
Stupid, all right. Right. So the bottom line is, there's the male lion lying in wait, the swedge being the hyenas, and the females...
696 in Greek.
The lionesses, hello.
Well, the female, see, the whole idea of all these analogies and parables that compared to the animal relationship is to say, well, the male is the king, and then everything else is female. So the world is dominated by the female, and everyone's got a female soul except for the father. That's why Jesus says, don't call anybody father. Yeah. That's what that was all about.
Yeah. And this is now, we were reading the Revelation about describing the beast, each was blaspheme. Well, it's blasphemy to call anybody father, as in like Holy Father within the church. So all the chiefs and priests and the let alone the popes. But that was blaspheming God by calling these dudes Pope. Pope meaning father in Papa. Yeah.
Now, some of the artwork that's in the Vatican is so horrendous that one there that the Pope sits in before...
The statue,
It's a gigantic thing. It's got to be 30, 40 metres high. It's huge. And done in 1977. And at the top it's got the Jesus, apparently...
it's supposed to be the Jesus figure, the resurrection. But everybody has seen it, this evil tree.
When you look up close on it, the side where the hair is on the side is a reptilian shape.
Yes. Yeah.
So underneath the Vatican, there's something like 19 rooms that have all sorts of dedications to the various gods that were worshipped from ancient Rome all the way through, until the last one is Lucifer, riding a white horse with white wings. Lucifer, in this case, will be representative of Christ. So Christ returns on the horse, and this is what they're waiting for.
Yes.
So when Pope Paul II was finally done in,
John Paul.
was on the 2nd of April, so that's a day before the crucifixion.
Yes, that's right.
Right date, in 2005. Then they put him in a box. It's not a normal shaped box, it's a wooden box with a lid on the outside of it, sealing it, and then another box outside that, and it's shaped in a satanic shape. It's got four sides, slightly tapering up, not like a normal coffin. And it was entombed. Then they brought it up in a special moment, and they put it on an altar. So they put in the Pope on the altar. This is Lucifer himself.
Yes.
And they put a webcam on it, and they would gather there every morning to pray for the resurrection. Because Christ resurrected, right?
Yes.
So they were looking for the resurrection of
Lucifer.
Pope, Lucifer, etc. Couldn't make it happen.
Yeah, totally. He's
so,
bound.
So they do this ceremony every morning at 6 a.m. or something like that. But the camera runs all night. And it's a special camera. Any movement, whoop, big alarm goes off.
Yeah. Look, just saying hi to Andrew, who is coming. Thank you, Andrew, for being the explicit recorder.
Yes.
When I thought we had escaped, I didn't have to press the explicit button. Andrew sent an email saying you said this, that and the other, so I quickly went over and pressed the explicit button.
Don't say it. Hey,
don't say what. And Ross is just saying, indeed, when he was in Rome, the angels kept him well away from the Vatican, and he knew.
Well, we didn't go in it.
No, we didn't go inside at all. Around it, we sat in it, and well, we've told this before, but our first trip in there, we'd picked up the car we'd rented, the little Fiat 500. It's so funny. What is funny is that Yah, being as big as he is, 6'2" and 220 pounds and all the rest, 222 pounds, we end up in these very small econo size, because I book everything, and to me it's got to be cheap. So we end up in all these really economy size cars. Well, this was a Fiat 500, and of course he unfolds himself to get out of these tiny little vehicles. We almost rented a Tata 635cc motor car in India, but it was suggested that we upgrade.
Was it $8 a day or something?
Oh, it was something ridiculous. Yes, it worked out to be $8 a day. Less than. Yeah, $8 a day. But we ended up upgrading to the Suzuki Swift, which was a 1.3 cc motor, and that did the job, thankfully, because Petra joined us, and it would have been very cramped in this tiny little two-man thing. But I've completely lost track. Don't know what I was going to. We'll talk about hyenas being the Jews and all the rest of it, and Lucifer in the Vatican.
I didn't say that.
You did. Yeah, well, you don't have to do. So the beast of the Revelation.
Well, the beast of Revelation is Pope John Paul.
Well, he's yeah.
Just to go through that, if everyone hasn't quite caught on to what we're talking about. He was wounded to death and did live 942 days on the 13th of May 1981. So he'd been Pope for 942 days. As when he was elected Pope, the sunrise to sunset for Rome, and only occurred for 4 years in a row, ending on that date in 1978. On the election finished on the 13th of October, and the 14th he was announced as Pope. And so 666 minutes for Rome. So the following year it's 665. Go back 4 years, it goes, and then it stays that way for 4 years, and it changes again. This is due to the slow tilt of the Earth. So whether it's that case now or not with the crossing of the Milky Way galaxy will be interesting, because you never get truth. One thing we don't get in the modern world is truth. No matter what it is, everything's a lie. I mean, name it. So even the rise of the moon and set of the moon, even they're not talking about the moon being upside down like it was last night again, right? And that started to occur, which I predicted, of course, prior to the crossing of the Milky Way galaxy equatorial line on the 11th of December 2011. And the water started draining down backwards, all your clouds started going backwards, so go to your toilet, flush it. Remember that idiot sent a photograph of me in a toilet in Australia, and it's going clockwise, right? It's got my face getting washed down the shitter.
Just absolutely proved.
Right? And I thought, what a wanker.
He's
just proven...
Flushing your photograph.
He's saying what a shitter, and he's flushing me down the toilet and spinning clockwise, right? Which it never did before in history of man. It's always been anti-clockwise, except when we crossed over the Milky Way galaxy equatorial plane on the 11th of December at 11:11. And that's why everyone's seeing 11:11 everywhere, for all the years. People seen 11:11.
Right.
That's why.
All right. Okay, look, Andrew, he's on the job here. He's the editor of the things I say. Yes, a 1.3 litre motor, not 1.3 cc. Yes, I do know what a cc is. It's about that big. Anyway, so I said to you before this that I have absolutely nothing planned to talk about, and I don't.
Questions.
Yeah, but Hirad's online. Hirad sent a message, so we'll go into that shortly. Have you finished with... Do you want to say any more about Lucifer in the Vatican?
Well, yeah, we can go on forever. And all of the... See, what they can't change is timing.
Yes.
A man is X amount of years old from his birth, and that's it. And that's when it kicks in, and therefore, on certain dates, when it happens, he can't get out of it.
Yes.
Right? And, of course, they don't want to talk about things like that, because the Strong's Concordance is really, it's a Catholic Bible. The Catholics put it together in the first place, which is, there was 30 Gospels they could have chose from, they end up with 4, North, South, East and West, that's what that means, right? So, okay, well, give it what you like. You could have given me one Gospel, I'll still defeat you. So they can cut it and shred it and dice it, but the books of the Old Testament have to remain in there because they were in the Dead Sea Scrolls from many years BC. So they were put in there by the Essenes, without the book of Esther.
Yes.
Esther is all to do with the Purim, which is the sacrifice of 75,000 at the time of the king of Persia. And what's his name got hung, who was trying to accuse the Jews of their evil.
Yeah. And
the king, because of this beautiful Jewess, Esther, she seduced him. He got him to change the
decree.
The decree.
So it was reversed.
And then the Jews killed 75,000 people at that time in Persia. All right, so it's always been Lucifer has got to control something to stop Christ. That's the whole point. So we've got the kicking out of the Lucifer figure that suddenly wakes up, it's on the earth, didn't know what happened. Well, it was defeated in the heavenly realm, because the realms actually run side by side. Think of it like running 3 videos at the same time, and as they're playing, you can speed one up and slow one down. That's what you can do in the heavenly realm. Because you can say, well, the end can be taken back to line up with the start of your second video. Right? Or if you want to go to the centre of it, the crucifixion, you can separate the 2 videos and put that in and have 3 televisions just playing at the same time. One's playing the crucifixion, one's playing creation, one's playing now.
Yes.
It's all happening at the same time.
And that's why
you've got three lines on my forehead, right?
God knows the
It's
end
the
from the
realm,
beginning. In the beginning,
it's the wheels within worlds, the realms within realm. That is why the first realm in Ezekiel 1:16, when you do the numbers on it in English gematria, a lot of people say, "Oh, God didn't speak English." Like God speaks everything. And as the end time is playing out, when the English is dominating the entire world, there's probably God knew about it.
Yeah.
Right? Because I speak it very well.
English is the second
The
language for a
Pope
reason.
spoke about 18 languages, you know, old Pope John Paul.
Yeah, he was very clever.
That's because he wanted to speak to all these bloody idiots that don't believe in Jesus. They want to have their animal heads sacrifices or child molesting or killing or whatever they do. Nepal, all this kind of stuff. The Dalai Lama, all full of demonic shit.
Now, Joel, it was Joel, I mean, before the earthquake hit Nepal last week, whatever it was, they had hundreds of thousands sacrificing animals to their god.
See, that goes back, it's another form of Torah. It's all based on sacrificing blood. Right? So that is why the crucifixion had to occur as the last Lamb of God, not of the God of the Torah, the God of Jesus, who said, "There's no other God except my Father and me. I'm one. He's him. If you've seen God, you've seen me. If you've seen me, you've seen the Father." It's pretty obvious. So who was it yapping on constantly for 40 years in the wilderness? With a team of stenographers wandering around, writing on sheepskins and so forth, which they sacrificed. All of the Torah. Well, it ain't God. Even at the Dead Sea, or I should say the crossing, the Exodus, right? They've got a great pillar stuck there so you can't miss it. They put that there. That's where that marvellous man, Ron Wyatt, who did discover the cross, the big rock that was rolled away, 13 foot 2 inches across, and then you've got, it's at the foot of the tomb. He discovered that. He discovered the earthquake, cracked it. He discovered the blood dribbled down 26 feet onto Jeremiah's grotto where the Ark of the Covenant is. And some other temple implements. Right? However, he was then led astray. The Ark of Noah. Oh, discovered that. Well, bullshit. It's not the Ark of Noah that he discovered. It's just a big old ship. Right? Because there's big people in those days. Right? So a ship 500 feet long is not extraordinary. Right? So that then he discovered the crossing of, and he actually got his scuba gear on and dived under and he found these wheels, right? Like in the Red Sea, the salt content is so high that nothing will last very long. And if it's covered in coral, like a wood spoke, it may last 40 years tops. Yes. This is supposed to be going back 3,000 years somewhere, 4,000 years, of the Exodus crossing. Bullshit. Right? It's all bullshit. So he was disfigured there as being an idiot because crossing the Dead Sea, the Red Sea, is of course nonsense. And then parting the Red Sea is nonsense. Moses is nonsense. There's no people that archaeologists in Egypt, they don't have any bloody idea what's going on over there. You might mention Moses to them, they sort of give him a starry look. Right? But there was no 12 tribes of Israel there. Also because of the timing. Right? All the timing is out. So it doesn't matter. People are stupid, they go along with it. If the church says so, you look at all the Christians, right? 36,000
This is in the Protestant
churches, denominations,
the Protestant churches.
If that ain't a kingdom divided against itself, I don't know what is. And they all hate Rome, which is justifiably. Because they do satanic worship. So why would they do satanic worship in Rome? Because that's the church of Peter.
Yes.
That's the one that's going to be destroyed.
They have to destroy the real deal.
That's right. The other ones don't matter. Jehovah's Witnesses don't matter. Mormons don't matter. It's all another line of bullshit. What we're going to do is destroy the main one.
Yes.
The Church of Peter.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, naturally, they're targeting that. So underneath the basilica there is, 14, 15, 16 rooms with all sorts of satanic...
Gross evil,
which I just looked at on video. It's on there.
Yeah, we have gone through this before, and I think
We
we
have.
have the
So it was asked about, here it asked about the...
I'll read Hirad's
read the
message
question and
because,
answer it.
I don't have anything to talk about and I need to take up time.
You don't have anything to talk about?
All right.
You're talking to sleep.
I do not. All right, here it is. Hey Ash, I have a question for Yar. I'm interested in genealogies. Can he describe the difference between an Aryan and Semite? I can't seem to find a connection between the two, and it just confuses me. Also, there's so much confusion out there. I think Yar can clear it up. There is Iran, which is called the land of the Aryans, and there are Germans. Then there are Syrians, according to the Old Testament, are the Semites. And he's talking about the genealogies of the Old Testament, are they true? And then there are the blue-eyed whites, royal tribe, in my mind. They are both Semites and Aryans, and the Essene tribe of Judah. I feel like Yah can clear this up in a kiss, keep it simple, stupid way, because this looks like a rabbit hole I might go seriously into and take a long time because Jews cover the tracks.
Well, all right. First off, you can go on the internet and put up their nations by blue-eyed colour, and you'll see it's all in the northern area, from as far north as you can go, right down to England and across to France and all those areas, right? They're blue-eyed, predominantly. But when you go back in time, you don't have borders. So you got Iran, so it's 5,000 years it goes back, but time goes back 7,000 years to the flood. So there's 2,000 years missing before Iran started to form itself into a nation. They were then, at that time, of the same stock that come from Shem, right? And in the Greek, they call it Sem, S-E-M, not S-H-E-M. The Jews, of course, I love the Jews, they're lovely people, aren't they, really? They have adopted the idea...
You speak with forked tongue.
They have adopted the idea because they have to do this. This is part of their religion. They have to reverse everything. So that's why it's wonderful to listen to any of the rabbis talk. You just reverse it. Because they can't tell the truth. It's against their religion.
Now, what is interesting is they categorically state in all of the introductions to the protocols and all the rest of it that they must destroy the sons of Noah. They refer to themselves as the sons of Moses.
That's right. Moses came.
Their enemy are the sons of Noah.
So the Shem becomes the Sem, so then they change it and they become the Semite and get rid of 12 million people.
Well, millions of people.
Millions of people that are the 12 tribes of Judah. Got to get rid of those. So suddenly they vanish off the face of the planet. And where do they go to? Well, the Syrians, they were the ones that were responsible for doing away with the warring, like peoples that were of Solomon's control, if you like. And they ended up following the early Torah, okay, which was to take all the women for yourself, rape and pillage and do what you like, and kill all the, anything that's not a virgin, kill them, and keep the women and children for yourself, and kill the males and kill the men, all the men, got to be done. And this is what they did, the Ammonite and Moabite, went through the whole lot. Hittites. So, is it true? Well, it doesn't matter. It is part of the record. But what we do know is true is that the ships that were used for going back and forwards to Glastonbury and Cornwall, and the merchants that come out of the areas of Cornwall, where if you go there today, they say, the Jews just come in. Of course they come in. What are you talking about? Everyone knows it, right? Not a problem. They've got all the wells there. They've got Mary's house. They've got Joseph of Arimathea. It goes back 2,500 years BC that they were shipping back and forth. And the ships they used were sails and rowing oars. More than 50, 60 men rowing these huge ships carrying maybe 100 tons. Because they had to go into estuaries and you go into Cornwall, you've got to go up the rivers. Well, you can't sail up the river when you've got hundreds of ships going back and forwards taking merchandise into the 4,000-mile trip through the... and I should also mention, as you're going through the Straits of Gibraltar, you've got to row. If you've got a wind behind you, great. But the water runs one direction, so they've got to hug the coast and row out. So that's one of the big problems, getting back to Cornwall. Okay, so that's 2,500 BC. Joseph of Arimathea, one of the richest men in the Middle East at the time, he was a member of the Sanhedrin. The Sanhedrin comes out of Babylon. That's why Caiaphas wrote a letter to the Babylonian Sanhedrin heads saying that he's retired because Jesus resurrected, that's it. We killed the Messiah, made a mistake, see you later. And he handed it over. And this is all in the original handwriting. It's not something that they've invented. This is something that is in
And this
the
had
archives.
to be
Rome
translated.
got hold of a lot.
Yeah, well, everything went to Rome
That's right.
to store as the records. It was law that every decree, everything from every nation around
Let's say
had
we
to
had
go.
YouTube in those days. What would they do with my videos? Straight into the archives. They wouldn't destroy them.
No, that's right. And that was the purpose. The Vatican libraries.
Okay, so the Shemite, descended from Shem, do exist today. If you've got, in particular, white races, the blue-eyed people, they're of Shem. It's as simple as that. So the Jews weren't lovely people, though, weren't they? They wanted to become the Shemite and reverse everything. So they become the Semite, because that's Greek for Shem, right? Sem. So we've got 2,000 years before we've got the forming of Iran, right? And then you've also got all the other regions. So you've got India. The early people into India had blue eyes. We met a couple of them.
Yes,
very few.
very few, but you did.
But they are blue-eyed people.
Yeah. And
The further north you go, the more blue eyes.
that's right. Wasn't one of the waiters at the Golden
Yes,
Tulip
right.
green-eyed?
Yeah.
And you asked him, "Is there any blue-eyed?" Didn't he say his
Oh, yeah.
mother or somebody was, or
Yeah,
grandmother, somebody in his family was green, blue-eyed.
And I've seen one walking around through the markets, one woman with
One,
blue eyes. The same colour as mine. So that was a bit... But she was Indian as can be, right? But with blue eyes.
Yes.
So, all right, so the go by time, you've got the Aryans, okay, which are the Semites, depending which country they're in. Right? So the Aryans, of course, are called that in ancient Persia, but they were there for 2,000 years before that, before Persia actually started to exist. And then you've got the other areas. So you've got the Syrians, which were also blue-eyed. Right? In fact, a lot of things that they did in the cold areas of Europe was to bathe first thing in the morning in freezing bloody water, because they did that. The Syrians did that because of their culture. Right? This was an Aryan, Syrian, Shemite thing to do. Right? And they kept it when they shipped. So, getting back to the ships. All the ships they had, if you look at the ancient Syrians, they also have the same ships that was being used by Joseph of Arimathea when he's pushing hundreds of ships back and forth full of copper and tin and other ore. So if you go to England, no problem. You go to that area, no worries at all. So all this was moving back and forwards, and there were 60 libraries, universities in Glastonbury, and Henry VIII had to get rid of all those because it was threatening his kingdom. So that's what they did when they went to Glastonbury and drew and quartered the three men that was protecting the Cobran Bible, which was part of what Jesus actually said. So all those universities were destroyed. People come from all over the world to go to England to study. So that was stamped out. So then you've got the religions that are getting more and more powerful, which are the Judaism. Right? Tremendously powerful because they infiltrate and take over. It's a secret weapon. When all nations at war will do that, they'll send spies in to become people that are in exactly the same thing happened with the church. They were just infiltrated and flooded with the Jews that could become Christian.
Yes.
Right? Then you got the Jesuit, and they give themselves away. They say, even think as low as become a Jew.
Yes.
What they're saying is we are Jews, and they say, well, don't think we are Jews, we wouldn't even go there.
Yeah.
And they're saying we wouldn't sink that low to become a Jew,
Yeah.
when they're saying we are the Jews.
Yes.
So this goes back also to 1492. You've got the people that at that time was the Prince of Judaism or something like that. We always think about the period of when the Spanish were getting into people and burning them at the stake and all this kind of thing. Well, in actual fact, what they was doing was getting rid of the Jews.
Yes.
They wasn't turning on Christians for having a black cat.
No.
What they was doing, that's all bullshit. Right? What they was doing is getting rid of the Jews for animal sacrifice, for child sacrifice, drinking children's blood, making matzo balls out of it, and all this kind of thing. Now, it doesn't mean all the Jews are involved in that, but they were the victims of it. They become what is known as the scapegoat. Right? So the average Jew has no idea that they're set upon. And why would they become Catholic? Why would a Jew become Catholic? Well, they know it's satanic. Right? Now, they don't believe in Jesus, but they believe in love. I think Jesus, as represented by the church, is Catholic. Right? Well, in fact, it is. But you've got the wrong people and the wrong mindset, because there's no Jewish person who would ever get the truth out of her out,
No.
Right? Remember, if their lips are moving, reverse it. As simple as that. Ask them a direct question they lie about. That's part of the Talmud. Right? And the average Jew has no idea. I mean, I know a couple of Jews, right? They're all right. I don't have any problem with them. Right? Just don't turn your back on them, that's all. No, they were all right. I talked to them at length. I used to say, I'm your king, you know that? Yeah. No, I'd give them the story. They had no problem with it.
Yes.
Because they knew me. I didn't speak with forked tongues, so to speak. If ever they ask me, don't ask me a question, what time's the moon come up today? How much does it fall? What's it say? How far from Jupiter?
Yes.
I thought I was this, blah, 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 blah. And of course, to them, I was the most informative man they'd ever met.
Yes.
And when I went to that Noah High Lords meeting, all the Jews come out and crowded me. When are you going to start doing seminars? You are the first rabbi, because I was a rabbi, you are the first rabbi that's ever told me the truth. So they all said that, 100 of them. Right? So I destroyed the rabbis when they were these Supreme Court justices. They were the ex-Governor General of Australia. Right? I just took them to pieces. All on film, by the way. And I tried to buy the film off of the Institute of Humanities. They call them the Institute of Humanities. It should be Institute of Satanism. But no, Institute of Humanities, it sounds good. And I wanted to buy the film. I wouldn't tell anyone.
I wonder if they would today.
No, they tried that. They've archived it. Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
But their Messiah was Schneerson.
Oh, Schneerson, yeah. Menachem Schneerson.
Who tried to start World War III in 1950. They want to destroy the world, and Hitler was right. Well, naturally they've got to put me down, right, today, and they've got to put Christ down, they've got to put Jesus down, they've got to put God down, and they've got to put Hitler down. Not bad company. Right? If I had a son today and it was a reincarnated of Hitler, I'd be very happy. He's a marvellous man. So, why? You told the truth. So they've got to demonise him. Right? Even the Pope Benedict, when I talked to him,
yeah.
The SS took his cousin away that had a Down syndrome, and they never saw him again. Well, there were factions in the SS that did do some nasty things, right? Because they hated Jews, but with justified. But to take people away and who are handicapped, and they never come back. Well, what did happen to them? Well, did they kill them? Well, evidence seemed to suggest that they did. So it's when there was some huge amount of Jews taken on trains to a spot, and the SS killed them all. And Hitler, he was beside himself with rage. He said, they're going to blame me for this.
Now, Joel would be able to answer this, but didn't he have those officers
He did, he had them shot.
executed? Yeah,
he had them shot.
Yeah.
Don't do that again. So he straightened them out. So there was factions of the SS that were... But this is war. Terrible things happen in war. Right? So you get these factions on up. How would you control all of Europe when you're from a little bloody foxhole or whatever they call him, Wolf's Lair? He's trying to control what's happening all over Europe. Right? Well, how do you get messages and how do you find out what's going on? Well, a month later you might find out that this is what the SS did. He said, right, hunt them down. And he got them all adjusted and he shot the lot. There's about 20 of them. Killed them. Yeah, so there was bad things. Naturally, Hollywood gets hold of it and they're going to make a big movie of it. This is what normal behaviour was of the SS, which is not true at all.
Yeah. Okay,
getting back to the question, you've got the Aryans, you've got the Syrians, which is also of the same Shemites.
Yes, you've only got to look at...
Parts of Persia, they go back to the same Aryan, to the same Shemite. It's just a different name, different flavour. Go to India, they're all Aryans.
Yeah,
also Shemite.
Herod was saying that Persia came into existence under Cyrus, and that Persians are a mix of from Japheth. Well, Japheth settled the area that is Armenia today, straight off the Ark.
Yeah.
Ararat is within the area that Japheth settled. Right. Now they've been set upon too, to wipe them out. The genocide of this.
They're as thick as two short planks.
Well, they are. They have brilliant architecture. These
clever
are very clever, intelligent people.
Paul Anka,
however,
the singer, right? He's one of them.
Yeah.
And yes, they're very clever people. wonderful architecture, but they're all controlled by the Grand Poopah at the top,
Yes.
who is placed in position by Lucifer to make sure that they don't ever sway in my direction.
Yeah,
But
completely.
it's running out of time.
Carrican II, he was notified of everything. As a matter of fact, I was tried to get through to him before Benedict made his announcement,
Right.
but everything was blocked from here.
What's the block?
Well, as you know, but yeah, all of them. Shenouda, the Orthodox church in Coptic church rather, Shenouda, he died a few years ago. They're disgusting. Now, you've only got to look at them.
There's nothing
You've only got to, there is nothing attractive about them. They look like they represent hell, and they do.
Look, if the priest in the future hasn't got a singlet on and a beer in his hand, they're coming to me.
Beer, by the way, has healing ingredients. We're not talking about... Anyway, I learned that. That was the discussion.
Charlie Drake's My Boomerang Won't Come Back will be the main
Can we
song
play that?
in a church.
Have you got it there somewhere
Right,
that you can
fine,
play
yeah.
that? Yeah, a bit of fun. Because Joel and Barry, Joel's dad, is here. He arrived very early this morning. They are heading out now tomorrow morning. They'll camp here for one night before they're off on their road trip, making their way down to Tasmania, where they'll be spending a few weeks in the bush down there. So they're excited, and Joel, I'm sure, is really ready to have a break from our demands to do this without re-videoing. Yesterday he took a few
Now,
tries.
Charlie Drake is an Englishman. He's only a little tiny fella. He might not be still alive, but he may have been 5 feet at the most.
Yeah, he looked shorter than
tiny
me.
man. And they got a mouth on him like a... Well, he doesn't swear as much as you do, but the point is... But he's an English comedian, and he wrote this song, so we'd like to play it for you now. It's going to be played in all churches.
We'll probably get a third-party content warning on our thing, but who cares? We don't.
Well, we're not saying... Wait a minute. Bloody...
Is that an ad, is it?
An ad. Well, wait till the ad goes through.
All right, well, we just download... Hey, on the YouTube enhancer, is it open in Firefox?
Yeah.
Should be no ads.
Yeah.
The YouTube tube enhancer wipes out the ads, according to Joel, so we downloaded it for Firefox.
Okay, let's see what happens here.
Or are you open in Pale Moon, are you?
No, it's just funny. I'm just downloading Charlie. My Boomerang Won't Come Back.
All right.
Now, this is a very sacred song for me.
Yes, you started singing it this morning as we're talking about going down to the cafe with Barry took us down to Sharda's breakfast this morning and had a wonderful handmade croissant from Ian's own hands. He's a marvellous baker.
It's done yet? Not done yet, hold on.
Yes, here Ad says, laugh out loud, don't mess with Ash, but she is peaceful unless you mess. Well, I'm peaceful unless I've had a mocha. No, it doesn't have to be the mocha. Usually the mocha is the rocket fuel to get me going. It's something that irritates me, but...
Okay, there we go.
Turned up.
In the backlands of Australia, many years ago, the Aborigine tribes were meeting. Wow!
We got a lot of trouble, Chief, on account of your son Mac.
Hang on, Mac. Why? What's wrong with him?
My boomerang won't come back.
Your boomerang won't come back.
My boomerang won't come back. My boomerang won't come back. I'm waiting to sing all over the place. Practice that I was black in the face. I'm a big disgrace, the Aborigine race. My boomerang won't come back. I'm not a kangaroo. Make kickadoo skidoo. But I'm a big disgrace, the Aborigine race. My boomerang won't come back.
The bandits from the tribe came and sent him on his way. He had a backless boomerang, so he could not sing.
This is nice, isn't it? Getting banished at my time of life. What a way to spend the evening. Sitting on a rock in the middle of the desert with my boomerang in my hand. I should very likely get bushwhacked. Get out of here! Nasty bushwhacking animal. take a nice cup of tea. Good gracious. There goes a kangaroo. That was a good practice for me boomerang. Getting right behind the left ear. Now then, slowly back.
If you throw that thing at me, I'll jump right on your head.
Big marvelous. Got a land full of kangaroos and I like to pick that one.
4 3 long months he sat there, or maybe it was 4. Then an old man in a kangaroo skin came rocking at his door.
I'm the local witch doctor, son. They call me George Elsie Black. Now tell me, what's your trouble, boy?
My boomerang won't come back.
Your boomerang won't come back?
My boomerang won't come back. My boomerang won't come back. I'll wave the thing all over the place. Practice till I was black in the face. I'm a big disgrace, you have a rickety race. My boomerang won't come back.
Don't worry, boy, I know the trick, but to you I'm gonna show it. If you want your boomerang to come back, well, first you've got to throw it.
Yes, never thought of it.
Daddy will be pleased. Must have a go.
Excuse me.
Now then, slowly back and throw. Oh my God. I'm the flying doctor.
Can you do first aid?
Don't talk to me about first aid, boy. You owe me 14 chickens.
You owe me 14 chickens.
First thing first.
Yeah, I know that, but I mean, I think on this occasion, you know, you can give it more perspective.
Oh, that's funny. Oh my God. Now, what were you saying about the woman who was objecting at the time? Because you saw this,
Barry.
Barry.
He said the woman across the street, very religious woman, and this is a very popular song when it came out in Australia.
Yes.
And he says God.
Yeah.
Right?
God.
And
Oh
she
my
wouldn't
God.
listen to it. Oh my God.
Now, speaking, here I just left a comment. Joel's dad sounds awesome. Well, he is. Now this is Bazza. He is, he must have been in a scene. Blue-eyed, long hair in a ponytail, beard, and he is the epitome of your bushy. Awesome. Do anything to help anybody. Knows how to fix anything, and is employed. He resigned from the Australian Taxation Office, went down there, visited them and told them, listen, I'm never going to pay you any taxes. And he just works around beautiful area of Australia called the Sunshine Coast, and is the main man for a couple of cafes, trendy cafes in the area. Now, Joel himself has finished his photography course, and the cafes that Barry is like the handyman for. He's so busy just keeping these cafes going because the new drug of choice is coffee over this last 20 years or so. So Baz has kept busy maintaining these two very busy, trendy cafes, but he lives in a tin shed on a friend's property, and that's the way he likes it. So he is an awesome dude. Now, what is funny is that he would have been down yesterday, but he was meeting the parents of Joel's brothers.
His son.
His son, Joel. Yeah. Anyway. So the parents came down to meet Baz. A lovely night. But he is a preacher, a pastor. Preacher, right? He said, he told him, I'm a preacher. So, I'm saying, what did you tell him? I'm going to be with Jesus tomorrow.
He rides a Harley, didn't he?
He rides a Harley. He's an Aussie preacher. Anyway, Baz says, no, I didn't even go there, just enjoying the moment. Anyway, it's all good. But yeah, this preacher rides a Harley, and he's had a lot of experience, a lot of heartbreak too. It sounds like real regular Aussie bloke who would be blown away if Bazza says, well, I'm going to be with Jesus tomorrow. My son lives with him. We always have fun with Bazza, and he loves the cafe down the street. So he takes us there, and it's always a treat to have him. So now they're off tomorrow. And Joel has been commissioned as his first qualified photographer to take photo shoots of the. Actually, bring them in. Ask Joel. Oh, it doesn't matter anyway. They're all in a bag. It's all bagged. They've given them all the props. The cafe wants him to take wherever they are, whatever natural setting, bush, lake, waterfall, mountain, whatever.
Tasmanian devil.
In front of the Tasmanian devil. Give them the props of their roast and their different brews. It's really quite a science. These packets are marked not only with the roasting date, but the acidic value, where it comes from, all of this, these organic beans. So Joel's got all the props, and they just want photographs in these brilliant settings sent in digitally. They don't want them enhanced anyway, just a raw file, and they're paying him for what he shoots because they'll be using Joel's photographs to advertise. Now, you've got to go, please, go and ask Joel now, or I will. The props, it's amazing. He was showing me the props because apparently this is the new trend. Ask Joel. I want to show everybody. This is going to be advertising for them. But it's just all the fandangled. Apparently now, ask Joel about the props for the coffee. Can he bring in the package and we'll go through it? Is he there? Or they may have left again. Anyway, it's fascinating. He's got this personal coffee grinder, right? So apparently people do this now for every coffee that they're going to have throughout the day. A personal coffee grinder. Pardon?
They're gone.
Oh, they're gone to give us peace. All right, because they were chatting away in the background. So you've got the personal coffee grinder. Then you've got this cylinder that the coffee goes in. You pour the hot water through and it plunges out. And apparently now people carry these kits around with them so that every coffee that they have, they grind immediately to make their ground coffee. And then this grinder has different settings, small, medium, rough, whatever.
They invented that in King Cyrus's time.
But now it's all to go. And in the 100% raw cotton, organic cotton bag with the printing all over it. And
the funny thing is, we asked Joel last week, what colour's your father's eyes?
He said, I
didn't know.
No.
So what about your mother? Didn't know that either. So when Bazzy comes up, I said, what colour's your eyes, Baz?
He says, I don't know.
That.
He's never ever noticed the colour of his blue-eyed.
So what about your wife? What?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
But Joel has green eyes, so we figure that the mum must have brown eyes or hazel or whatever because Joel has green eyes. But seriously, he didn't know. Never ever taken note of the colour of his eyes, and he couldn't tell what colour Joel's eyes were anyway. Oh dear. So moving right along, we've got about 7 minutes to go before I start.
Only 7 minutes?
7 minutes, yeah.
I thought you had nothing to talk about.
Well, I don't anymore.
Any other questions?
Any other questions? Well, Hero says mine are big and brown. That's good. Now, this little bit of information, because two blue-eyed parents cannot have a brown-eyed or a green-eyed child, etc.
Impossible.
Now, this was always the same, and I actually read fairly recently, because this information goes underground. When my sister was born in 1973, I was 17 years old when she was born, but I was telling this to Leonard and Elizabeth in Cobbity because it was quite a production. We were in the dining room. It was a Sunday afternoon, and we used to have the family meal together on a Sunday afternoon. It was usually a roast of something. But this day, each of us had a place setting with our names sitting at the table. We're all looking around, so we're sitting down in our nominated places, and Mum and Dad are sitting, at either end of the table. And my father says to us that in October you are all going to have a baby brother or a sister, and your mother is going to have a baby. Well, Mum was 38 at the time, and I just piped right up and I said, how come? like how is that possible? 38 those days as well. So anyway, I was 17 when she was born, but years before that, at the same table, was years before, at the same table, I had announced after learning in science that 2 blue-eyed parents have blue-eyed children. You cannot. And so I just come straight out and say, oh, we learned in science. And my parents each had blue eyes, of course. So I said, so where did Carla come from? Because Carla, my second sister away from me, has brown eyes. So I said straight out, where did Carla come from? The milkman. and my mother says, oh, don't be ridiculous, blah, blah, blah. And that was pretty much the end of the conversation. But now reading that historically, in all of the surveys, it used to be a instinctive that that men, when like blue-eyed men, when asked about their future wife, partner, spouse, whatever, the one that they would marry, as their preference, the majority of them said a blue-eyed woman. With brown-eyed men, they answered it didn't matter to them. They had no preference. It didn't matter. But a blue-eyed man almost always answered a blue-eyed woman because that was instinctive protection, if you like. And they say that it was instinctive within them because 2 blue-eyed people cannot have brown-eyed or green-eyed children, and that by saying that, they would know that his wife had been faithful or not. Because if she gave birth to anything other than a blue-eyed child, he would know that the child wasn't his. So I found that fairly recently, this study.
As I said, in England, the survey has produced that out of every 10 children, 3 of them are raised by a father that is not the father.
Yes.
So because of this modern age, a woman jumps across the road with some other geezer.
Yeah.
And but the reality is that in an animal, whether it be a human being or not, the womb retains the memory of the first child. So therefore, if the woman's been out with some other guy, and it might be a brown-eyed child from 2 blue-eyed parents, but it will look like the firstborn child.
Yes.
In some cases more so, because there's a memory in the womb itself. But what the womb doesn't memorise is the colour of the eyes. That's the number.
Yeah, so
I've been meaning to talk to your mother about that.
well, I just blurted it out. So where did Carla come from? The milkman.
She never mentioned it again, right?
No, of course not. Oh, don't be ridiculous. Blah, 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 like this. But actually talking about the series, the BBC series that I watched with Ali, Call the Midwife. You've got to watch it, girls. And men, to know what we women go through to give birth to you. Here I am. This must be the Mocha kicking.
Just get on with the story.
All right, okay. Call the Midwife. Oh, in Call the Midwife, one of the ladies who gave birth, and these were live birth guys in this series.
I don't know about it. Just get on with the story.
Call the Midwife. She had a black baby. Yes. Now the story behind it. Why did she have a black baby?
Good pile.
Yeah. No, it was one night. When when she was really ticked off her husband, who was he was this overprotective, blah blah. It would have driven most women to distraction. And she said,
"Make an excuse for the slut."
Anyway, she said that she just felt close, and it was one night with a black dude, and she was worried that she was going to have a black baby. And when she realised what a treasure her husband really was, like she said. He was a gem. So this gem of a man, this is set in the 1950s. He's not. Men weren't at the birth then, so the midwife is there and the nun, and the baby comes out black. No, they don't. The baby comes out black, and everybody knows. So then she tells the story of what happened. So they call the father in without saying anything and hand him the baby. Well, in this, and this is based on the memoirs. It's true stories.
Yeah, right.
This man looked at the baby.
Threw it out the window.
No. He looked at the baby, then he looked at his wife. This was the love of this man for his wife. That's what she found so closeting. And then he said, we will call him Edward. He did not mention the color of... He loved that child and his wife, and nothing was ever said by him about the colour. Now, the nuns, of course, and the midwives are discussing it later, and he never ever said a word. He just took it on and raised that child, knowing that his wife, But anyway, that's just one episode of Call the Midwife based on true stories. Now, so what he's saying in the... Yes, the Jews are the blender of every race. It's all by design. What's that? Oh.
We got a lot of trouble, Chief, on account of your son Mac.
My Boomerang, why? What's wrong with him?
My boomerang won't come back.
Your boomerang won't come back.
My boomerang won't come back. My boomerang won't come back. I waved the thing all over the place. Practiced till I was black in the face. I'm a big disgrace, the Aborigine race. My boomerang won't come back. I'm a banana kangaroo. Make kickadoo still. But I'm a big disgrace, the Aborigine race. My boomerang won't come back.
The bandit came from the tropical, sent him on his way. He had a backless boomerang, so here he could not stay.
This is nice, isn't it? Getting banished at my time in life. What a way to spend
Getting banished to this
Sitting
time.
on a rock in the middle of the desert with my boomerang in my hand. I should very likely get bushwhacked. Get out of here! Nasty bushwhacking animal. Think I'll make a nice cup of tea. Good gracious. There goes a kangaroo. That was a practice with my boomerang. If you block behind the left ear. Now then, slowly back.
If you throw that thing at me, I'll jump right on your head.
Isn't marvellous? Got a land full of kangaroos and I like to do that one.
4 feet long runs, he sat there, or maybe it was 4. Then an old man in a kangaroo skin came rocking at his door.
I'm the local witch doctor, son. They call me George Elfie Black. Now tell me, what's your trouble, boy?
My boomerang won't come back.
Your boomerang won't come back?
My boomerang won't come back. My boomerang won't come back. I'll wave the thing all over the place. Practice till I was black in the face. I'm a big disgrace, the Aborigine race. My boomerang won't come back.
Don't worry, boy, I know the trick, and to you I'm gonna show it. If you want your boomerang to come back, well, first you've got to throw it. Oh, yes, never thought of that. Daddy will be pleased. Must have a go. Excuse me. Now then, slowly back and throw. Oh my God. I'm the flying doctor. Can you do first aid? Don't talk to me about first aid, boy. You owe me 14 chickens. First thing said.
Yeah, I know that, but I mean, I think on this occasion, you need more perspective.
Here, Ed, I just saw your comment when I was talking about the man in the story. It was love. It was love, not because he was a moron. He was a man filled with love for his wife. And in the moment's silence before he said anything, he had obviously forgiven her. The child was the product. The child was innocent. I'm just reading what he...
Don't with me, okay?
I'm no way to say, but it was love. It wasn't because he was a moron, he realised, but in an instant, he'd forgiven her. That's the whole point of the series. And and that was the discussion at the end of it when the midwives and the nuns... What's that?
You want me to watch this?
No, you won't. You won't.
No.
All right. Yes, the German lady's beautiful. Actually, looking at the film from the archives of World War II, the archives, the women in the driving, the jeeps and, all of the services that the women had to. They're all beautiful, slim-figured, that's what you remember, right? As you say, as a child. Mm-hmm. Even I remember as a child, I remember seeing a pregnant woman. I hadn't seen a pregnant woman before, going to kindergarten, and I just said, Mummy, why is that woman so fat? Because we didn't see fat women. Now, young girls, teenagers that have been ruined, absolutely ruined, all by design, all of it. And you can thank Prince Charles for soy in the baker's flours that all of our bread comes from. It was the early 70s. He was the one I'd read a long time ago that suggested, in order to sterilise, keep the population of the world down, to begin putting soy in the baker's flour.
People that named Crick, who come up with the study of the double helix and the DNA. Francis Crick, his idea was to use soy in the bread.
Right. Listen to this. Adam just said that the Christ is Back group, this is the one that Scylla started, there's now 999 members. 555 of them are new. This is in days, isn't it? Or a week. What? Because the last time I looked, it was 611. That was only
we
a
did
few days ago.
on the show the other day.
611, yeah, right. So this is awesome. People are hearing the news. And encourage all of them to sign that petition. Please, everybody encourage, but just sign the petition. Because the Vatican gets an email when anybody signs the petition. So we've already done it, sign it, but everybody pass it around, sign the petition. And, do we care whether they just sign the bloody thing?
We'll put a link on the bottom of this where you can, for a few dollars, join a mass emailing group, which will all go out as spam, of course. But as you say, you never read spam, I read it all.
Yeah. Well, I go through the subject titles before I delete it.
Well, the subject title is the important thing.
Yeah. Yeah, $39.95, wasn't it, for something?
Send out 3-4 million a day.
Yeah, comes in from the same people. All of the how many people in Ghana and Nigeria and Kenya and all these places have English names? Jennifer Miles or Mrs. Jonathan Anderson, and it's all to get your bank account details. They come in, 10 days.
Well, in a sense, you can't blame them because they're all starving to death.
Well, they are, totally. Rodney, I didn't say hello to you before, and Jonas, good to have you guys over with Hirad and Adam and Ross, and we're out of time.
What about the painting behind me?
The painting behind me today. This one I called Charred Remains. Again, as I approached the canvas, didn't know what. But what did I do? Through the texturizing and my idea was what it ended up looking like. Oh, that's right. I would just get the paint on the canvas and then start to texturize and blend, whatever. And I called it Charred Remains because it reminded me of an ancient wall. Actually, when I think about it, I'm thinking of Arbroath Abbey that we were at in Scotland when we were there. But and this ancient wall of an abbey, perhaps. Yeah, now I thought at the time a castle, abbey, whatever. This ancient wall had been through a fire, hence the charred remains. But I was also paralleling it with the soul being refined in a man or a person's life and always brings forth gold. This is real gold paint, metallic paint. So the charred remains brings forth gold, and talking about the refiner's fire over the many lifetimes, the silver that's refined. But in my mind, the gold comes from the charred remains, and this ancient wall. So anyway,
By accident, we end up in Scotland, and because we go to Arbroath Castle,
Abbey,
rather.
monastery, yeah.
And there was 11 of them built by King William because he had inherited from Malcolm III, and who was the King of Scotland, and Margaret, who was the Queen of England. And in 1066, the family of the English kings was chased out, and she should have been queen, of course, and became queen, but she was born in Hungary, where they fled to. So it was interesting that he had the silver mines, and he produced all of these wonderful monasteries, the Benedictine monks. And of course, we end up with Pope Benedict. He chose it because of the Benedictine monks. So you can see the synchronicity there. But he died on December the 4th. We married on December the 4th in Fiji.
Yes. Yes.
And he was born on December the 4th in 1143. So, for some reason or other, they reduced his age down by a year. Because the year he died was after the Magna Carta, right, in 1215. So they reduced it to 1214, which is bullshit. For some odd reason, which I know, probably something to do with Magna Carta. But Magna Carta was a dreadful thing. That was a Talmudic move by William the Conqueror, who himself was not a king. Right? He made himself a king. So they conquered England, and they brought in what is called the Dooms, and that lasted for 9 years. And they wasn't allowed. No one was allowed to grow food or nothing.
Yes.
So he put the whole country into subjugation because of that. And then they was riding these horses that are fully armed. The 2 draft horses that weighed about 2 ton. So you can imagine it's like a truck coming at you with a spear, right? So there's no defence against them. And then they're the ones that built all these castles.
Yes.
Not the Arbroath, that's a monastery, but the main castles throughout through England and Scotland. So it's a very interesting story.
Yeah.
So that, of course, all has to be put right.
Right, that's it. 67 minutes and 17 seconds. We're out of here. It's over. And Jonas made a comment about he never thought he'd look forward to Mass every day as he does as he comes to this church, gathered at the Go Lightly Martial Hour on Spreaker.com. Now I'm going to go out with Yar singing and then the choir. I just like hearing the choir, but can't help falling in love, and the artist is Raw Yar. So thanks again, guys, and we'll be back tomorrow.
When we do these recordings, we don't practice, we just do it.
Yeah, Yar does, yeah.
Well, I don't. What's the point?
No, exactly. Here we go.
I like...
So it goes. Some things are meant to be. So take my hand, take my whole life too, for I can't help falling in love with you. For I can't help falling in love with
The Go Lightly Martial Hour on freedomtalkradio.net.
All right, later gators. Here endeth the lesson.
Zig Heil.
Zig Heil.